So thank you very much for the survey today. If I get a chance, I'm going to update and edit this video, but in a much shorter form with a focus on a single issue and anything that might be affecting it and some additional information. But here is the unedited version, and in the email there are all the recommendations and actions. I've used AI to do it, just makes it quicker and also more accurate. Less is dropped through, and I quickly read through it to check that it all makes sense. But I will double check before sending the final version. Note, I do the data loggers when I send off the final version. So thank you very much, and have a listen. Why do you say that? Just to be away from the clients?
I like the travel. It gives you time to kind of
unwind.
So
we're looking at brown staining here, and it's damp, as this demonstrates. The dampness carries on. I guess stops about there. So I'm going to have a look in on the neighbour's side. It does feel quite humid in here. There's concern about mould here, but the tenant says that they accept it as just standard mould. But even so, I think every so often you probably do want to replace the sealant. It's difficult to stop mould on sealant. So I'm just testing the fan, and it's just coming out of the top, so it's recycling. Spec clothes are dried internally. My relative humidity in the flat, really, considering it's fairly, well, it's autumn anyway. The extractor fan is only running at about 5 litres a second. Should be 15. The bathroom door was left open. So this is looking through a thermal imaging camera where blue is colder than red and orange. And there's quite a lot of heat loss there. We'll have a look at the reason why. So there's a beam there, and above it, it is empty, so there's going to be quite a lot of heat loss at the top of the beam, and it's probably got metal inside it, but I don't know. Oh, and then there's some, there's an air vent there, meaning there's going to be localized heat loss. So this is looking from above. I think I'll need to come over a bit more. So I'm looking for the extractor fan. Great view from here, isn't it? Notice that there's vapour down here, and I know you guys only just moved in and so on, but these trickle vents are closed, so we'll open those up. Let's have a look down there. I'm just to say to the tenant, so I didn't catch your name.
I'm James.
James. So when I came in, it felt very humid. It was showing 70% relative humidity on the hygrometer. The door was open for some time because I was outside, and it's now dropped to 60%. It feels better, but it's still quite humid in here. The kitchen extractor fan doesn't have an external ducting, so you need to cook with tops on pots and pans in the short term. This is metal, an RSJ support, and is causing heat loss, but there's no obvious sign of a leak on the outside. So it appears to be just internal condensation on the metal, rusting it. That's why you're getting the rusting colour. And the extractor fan isn't working well upstairs, and I'm just going to try and see if there's something I can do about it, or whether it's actually ducting out properly. So I'm just going to put something above, a camera above to have a look. There's a dehumidifier, but it's like 1 or 2 litres per day theoretical capacity. It needs to be about 20 litres. The washing machine is a dryer function, and there's a heated rail or heated drying clothes rack. I'm not a fan of those. So the overrun is set to 15 minutes, it should be half an hour. I'm going to change it, but in the short term, because there's no override, I'm going to just turn it down so that it switches off, because I want to see if I can improve it. So I'm just using the torch function to see whether the flaps have dropped down, but they seem to be fine. So you have backdraft shutter that can stop it. So in theory it should be running reasonably quickly, but it isn't. I've taken the fan out of the ducting just to test the theoretical speed, and you can see in theory the fan can do, and this isn't, it probably slightly more than this, but it can do 13. So it's not the problem with the fan, the problem's with the ducting, and it's got flexible ducting, and I'll show you now. So I put it on a short timer, but firstly it's flexible ducting. I don't think you need it, but I'm not able to make that judgment for you. You can see there's a bend, well, it's probably easier to see it like that. There's a bend that's causing some loss, but I suspect it's more than that. I suspect it's something at the top as well that's causing. But if it were me, I would just take this bit out. Problem is you should have something, because that's just a void in there. And you'll end up having lots of vapor. So in the short term, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it onto a half an hour overrun, and I'm going to ask the tenant to just keep it running permanently with the light on and door closed. That should go a long way to solve the problem, but then longer term you should change the duct and talk to the freeholder about, whether you can, what solutions there are, because other flats are going to have the same problem or have found the right solution. But I suspect a rigid duct all the way out would solve the problem, but you may need to get onto the roof to have a look to see what's happening there. To add, the fan itself is quite clean, that's not the problem. So the fan itself is quite clean, that's not the problem. I have got a slight increase in speed, so that's about a 10% increase in speed, maybe 20%, 30% maybe. The extractor fan's not working well. I've improved it, so it should be 15 litres a second. It was running about 4. I've made it into about 6, so it's 50%. It's going in the right direction. But the way around, and I've increased the overrun to half an hour. The way around it is to keep it running permanently. It won't cost much in doing that. The energy cost is minimal. Basically, it's the lights, but they're low wattage, so they're not consuming much. In the short term, and I'm going to encourage the landlord to replace the ducting with a rigid type of ducting, 4 inches. But he may have to speak to the landlord.
Yes.
The freeholder, should I say? And and also other people are going to have the same issues. It's not unique to this flat.
It's probably just structural a little bit.
It's the way the structure is working. Yeah. So anyway, I'll show you this now. So I'll put it on the other. So these are called data loggers, and they're just constantly logging the temperature and humidity. They're not doing anything more. So if I find sensor blue. So if you wanted to put it onto your phone, you could do, but I'll do this in the short term. So done plus. So these are the 2 new ones, and they're showing there with. So the dew point is. 30. So I'll just make a very slight adjustment. Basically, they're in the same environment as each other, so they should be showing the same number, and you just do this. So I'm going to add in one there, so that brings it into line with that, and that's basically in line. And then this one likewise, calibration, and this is 1.75, and the temperature is so that's now and the dew point is in line. So dew point is a measured amount of vapor in air, and you always want to keep that below the outside temperature. So I'm just going to find them and name them, and find it and press that, and then one of these will show red, so that's that one, and that one was the one in the bathroom, so that's the bathroom one. So we're uploading the data. It takes about a minute per week of data. How long have you had them for? About a week, probably?
Yeah, less than a week.
Okay, well, it's been
5 or 6 days? 4 or 5 days? I'm not 100% sure what day specifically.
So, as I say, I would consider getting one of these, and then you can just see at any point in time what the dew point is. You have to keep the dew point below the outside temperature. So, calculator sign, export sign. Start again, export, cancel, export sign, export CSV, and then send it to simon@dampsurveys.com. And then back. Okay, so that's done. We'll put them back. That shows you how to do it yourself.
Yes.
And I've created an AI website where you can upload the data and just look at it, analyze it, and see how you're doing over time. Important to know that you're going in the right direction. This is professional level damp meter. They cost about £500, and really the one that I showed you before is a Doctor meter, and it's just as good as this, but so that shows you that it's damp. We're against that, against there, it starts to dry out about there. So what you do is you just note where the damp zone is, and then measure it over time, and it will dry out, but it'll take 6 to 9 months to dry out. And then all you need to do is sand it down. The calcium sulfate salt's on here, and it's rust. The brown colour is rusting, and you'll be able to paint it fairly soon. You may have to put filler in, or possibly even plaster. I would also think about insulating it, and I'll show you some insulation that you might think about. So this is actually probably what I do, because you're always going to have an area of heat loss there because it's metal. So this is called SpaceTherm, and it would just simply go on top of here, and you can plaster on top of that. That's probably what I would do, and you could just put it over this now.